Hey, class, it was great seeing you in person the other day. I just wanted to make a quick video, kind of goes through Canvas, talks about the readings a little bit for this week, kind of just familiarize yourself with what we have going on the next couple weeks. Let me try to share my desktop here. Okay. All right. Uh, So we log into Canvas, you land on this syllabus page where you can find the syllabus here, my email address if you want to provide feedback to the course here, and then kind of all the due dates for the assignments. Speaking of the assignments, I know some people were pretty nervous about the quick turnaround between when we start the assignment and then when they're due. So I was thinking we could, if you want feedback, because I was thinking my plan was to grade these on Fridays, where I had them due on Thursday afternoon. So if you want feedback on Friday, just try to get it to me by Friday morning. If not, if you need longer, that's okay. You can take longer. It just I'll try to get you feedback within about 48 hours or so. So we'll try that, see how that works. If not, we can always talk about that as the class goes on. I can be flexible with those dates. So anyways, let's see. Kind of just talk about things that are here. I have this link you can provide, feedback on the course. You click on it, you'll be taken to this site and type in your answers. And remember, yesterday in class, I just typed in a response. And, this is all that I see when I get it back. So, it doesn't, unless you type in your name here or in the comment, I don't know who sent it. So just so you know that it is actually anonymous. I also linked in here the skills assessment that we took in class. So you can see the answer key here. Just scroll down. I tried to, here's, the 4 different scales of measurement: nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio, and kind of a little definition of what they mean, what is validity and some different types of validity. You'll be learning a lot more about that in the readings for this week about validity and reliability. And then as we get on into the semester, we'll be talking about item difficulty and discrimination, especially when we get into the item analysis exercise, and then we get into IRT analysis. These ideas will come back up. And then we'll talk about both exploratory and confirmatory factor analysis later on in the class as well. So it's okay if these weren't familiar terms to you, because this is going to be stuff that we're going to cover this semester. I'd say if you did know everything on here, then it's probably going to be the class for you. So, oh yeah, the syllabus is also linked on here. So if you need, online access to the syllabus, it's there too. So for this coming week, I have several readings linked. That's kind of a just broad introduction into the field of educational measurement and psychometrics. And then I have 3 discussion posts that kind of build off of those readings. If I would probably recommend reading this Devon article first. It's probably a great one to start with. It has a great overview of both validity and reliability. It does a good job of defining the concepts and then the different types. I even like the little figure they have here. We think of construct, the construct validity as our overarching term. You can break that down into, criterion validity, translational validity. You think of those as, concurrent validity, predictive validity, discriminant validity, convergent validity, discriminant validity. And I think the authors here do a really good job of defining each one of these concepts. So I'd probably recommend starting with this article first. The Clark and Watson article here is a very thorough, I would say, treatment of validity. You may not understand all that it discusses in the article now, and that's okay, because we're going to cover a lot of these concepts this week, and some of it we're just not going to have time to cover all the issues that they bring up in this article. But this is probably a good one to read now, save it for later, and then at the end of the semester, maybe read back over it again. And I think a lot of these things that they talk about in the article will just start clicking in your head, like, oh yeah, now I kind of get, kind of what they're talking about. I mean, it's a pretty long article, and it's pretty detailed. They talk about, why should we care about construct validity? They talk about, creating a pool of items, talk about different types of response frames, like frequency responses, agreement type responses. They talk about item selection, both from a classical test theory perspective and an IRT perspective. They talk about, validation being sort of an iterative process. They talk about the use and the limitations of using self-reports. So it's like I said, it's a pretty thorough treatment of, many different issues that come up in validity. And it's okay if we don't understand everything that's going on in there now, but I think a lot of it will start making sense as we go through the semester. The Flake and Fried article, the measurement, really discusses, different, questionable measurement practices and how we might go about avoiding them. And the whole purpose, I got a good table in here, if I can find it. The whole purpose is, I'd say the big takeaway from this article is really be transparent in what you're doing. Like, some of the stuff I think seems very, very, very like duh. You should define your construct and what it is. Describe the theories of support for your construct. Justify how you selected your measure, any sort of validity and reliability elements for your measure. How did you create your scale? Did you sum across items? Did you weight the items by their factor score? Did you use an IRT process? Discuss how it is that you created your scale. And if you made any adjustments to it, made any modifications, describe what those were. It seems, to me, it seems pretty self-evident, but it's good practice to get into. And I think they do a good job of breaking down some of these issues and talking about, what it is that we need to see, to be able to create, reproducible type research. And then the next few articles here are all about the standards for educational and psychological testing. And they're kind of just a brief overview of the manual. What is its purpose, kind of the history of it, and you'll see the standards cited in a lot of the different articles that we're reading too. I think Clark and Watson even have a little section there talking about the standards. I think this one just is really about the old edition. There was another edition that was out like the second or third, I can't remember, came out in like 1999, and the newest one came out in 2014. I think this is about the 99 edition. But really, a lot of times just the organizational structure changed and updated, but I mean, still what they had is their definition of validity and reliability really stayed the same. There's another good overview of the standards, what was updated, what wasn't updated, and some recommendations for that. So you can look through all of these and see what's going on. And so that's basically what we're doing the first week is we want to read through, these different articles. If you think you got an idea of what the standards are, you can skim through some of these other ones. Some parts of Clark and Watson seem really dense, maybe just skip that section. It'll be okay. Well, like I said, it's probably a good one to save and come back to at the end of class as well, too. But then I have 3 discussion posts linked. Kind of what is psychometrics. We're going to, kind of talk about that online. I'm going to let you tell me what you think it is. Do a little bit of research and come back and let's talk about it. And then another introduction, about the standards for psychological measurement. So we can see, we have, why is it important for researchers and practitioners to adhere to the standards? Do you have any, so you can see some of what's going on in there, and same thing with different, with the Blake and Fried and the Clark and Watson article, discuss what reliability is and why should we care about it, what is validity, and, why should we care about the validity of ours. I think those are some of the main concepts that they talk about in those articles. So that's basically going to be this week what we're going to do. I'll make a new video coming in for next week, but I've already posted the readings on there. You can download them in a click the link and you can download them. They're all in a zip file. So instead of me posting each one on there, I just put them all in a zip file for you, and you can see them all here. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm always here to answer anything you have. Email is probably the best way to get in touch with me. You can always stop by my office. I'm on the 5th floor of Bailey. I think 508 is the number. Stop by, shoot me an email, or you can even post to the discussion board, and we can talk about it that way too. Enjoy learning. That's all I have, I guess. I look forward to learning with you all this semester. Thank you.